Hi everyone and welcome to the finished pages video for February 2019. I really have a difficulty to pronounce this month. Quite okay, I'm sorry. So I'll dive straight in because I have quite a few to show. February was my fear month. It was a challenge for myself to try and color some pictures that were making me nervous or that I didn't know what to use, or not that I was scared, but nervous or a bit in doubt what to do with it. So I've picked some projects to tackle those doubts. The first one I did is this double page spread. So I'm going to lift the book up a little bit and try to refocus so that everything is quite visible. He has some stickles and the butterflies also have some stickles, but I don't know if the camera will pick it up quite okay here and there. And I've used gold for his helmet and some other details. The fairies also have some stickles on their outfit. And I've used Albrecht Dürer for most of this page. Polychromos for shading. And for the wooden panel or frame, I've used watercolor paints with shading of polychromos. I'm not too fond of the border, but yeah, it's doable. And I've used some glitter gel pen for the silver here, but it's not quite visible on camera, I'm afraid. So I'm really happy with the outcome, except for the border, but I like the contrast between the colorful bird and the more pale butterfly women. So and I think I did use some graphite tint for the background. I'm not too sure anymore. The grayish background. So that was the first tackled picture. And the first I did in Sprookjesbos. So I accomplished to make a new book used. So then the second project, I don't like to color flowers. At least I have too less. I don't have enough imagination to make a flower look special or vivid or beautiful. So I try to avoid flowers most of the time, but for this picture I've chosen one with most flowers imaginable, although the neighborhood page has also a lot of flowers. But I've used watercolor paints for the base. Then I think I don't write my used materials down anymore, so it's a guess. I think I've used Prismacolors to shade also for the leaves. And for my birdie, who has a bit of stickles on his wings, it's not picking out. The bicycle has also some iridescent medium or pearlescent watercolor. I'm not too sure anymore. And these flowers on the bottom have that too. And of course my butterflies are also quite shimmery. So I really like the outcome of this page. It looks summery. Oh yes, my bee, my bumblebee. His wings are very shiny because I've used the iridescent medium without adding water, I think. So it's quite a sunny page. I was quite happy with how this one turned out. And I like the way the bird has his own Yeah, he draws a bit of attention to him because of that orange, and yeah, I like how he's looking, or she. So that was this one. Then the third project was trying to color something with markers and not to shade with pencils. And I'm going to find, this is my first attempt. I've written it down, learning to shade with Limousin markers. So I've only used markers for her. So the shadow here and here is all alone, markers alone. Also her cheeks, everything is just markers. And I was quite happy for a first attempt. I think she really looks nice. And I didn't want to do a background because I don't like this book that much. But for practicing, it's quite okay. So that was this one. Then I did another marker page in Lunar Mysteries. And that was for, not especially for Valentine, but it was around Valentine's Day, so it could be used for Valentine's Day. So that's my little lady with some glittery effect here everywhere. And I did a tutorial on how to color hair with 2 different manners, but it's not visible anymore now. And she's also only markers, also on her dress here and her cheek. So only her hair is pencil and the rest is markers and paints and iridescent medium and watercolor and acrylic paint. So to see, I've splattered around a bit. So that was this one. Then Hannah Carlson. I love her books. I love her artwork. I've colored quite a lot in her books, but the last few months she made me nervous for no reason. I don't know why, but so I thought it was time to grab one of her books again and do a page in one of hers. And I did some adventurous mice. And I'm going to lift them up already because around the bodies of the mice you can see some pearlescent paint. And I've used that to make them more visible. I'm going to try and put my lamp on a different way. It's quite hard to get a good light source. I've used liquid watercolors for the background, neocolors for this kettle, and shading with Prismacolor pencils. The mice I've also done with Prismacolors. I did a tutorial on the fur, and I tried to, with white signo, I tried to hide the line that was drawn by Hannah so that it became thinner, and then it's more natural looking, the fur, in my opinion. So I'm quite happy with how those 3 little friends turned out, and I've used some iridescent medium on the waves to make it shiny, and of course some stickles. And I also used neocolors for the background and some splattering, of course. So I'm very happy with this page. I also like the red lantern. It's cozy, it has a cozy feeling, and I'm glad that I didn't went too crazy with different colors for everything. Red for the flags and red for the lantern, and yeah, it was good. It was good for me. So then the next project, I got inspired by Steffi Sweet Colors. That's a French speaking girl. I don't know if she's from France or from Belgium also, the French-speaking part of Belgium, Wallonia. But she's using gesso quite a lot, and she has a great video about using that product, and I was inspired to use it in this book to make the harder lines of some objects less visible. And I decided to only cover up the birds that I was coloring in. It was this page that I've worked on. So I did use some white gel pen to make them pop out even more. But on the other parts, like the internal, and here on top of his head, and here the black lines are hardly visible. So I was really pleased with how the gesso worked, and of course I've used some did I use some I don't know which products I've used anymore. Paul Rubens maybe? Oh, I've written it down. Paul Rubens. I think it was one of the latest books that I've decided to write down in my materials. So also Rubens here and on the little houses. And it's quite a bright page. And I like it a lot. So, yay for the gesso. At least in this book. I didn't say yay on other pictures. Then I've tackled the Dreamlings. I had won this book in a giveaway, and up until now I hadn't worked in this one, but now I have. But I'm not too happy with the outcome. I am happy with my tree. So this page is all gessoed, and I love how my leaves are looking. I've used the Japanese watercolors, the muted ones, for this, and the berries, they are greenish. I really like that combo, and also how I did the light on the twigs. But then all that brown on the bottom, and no, that wasn't. And I also have written down what I done here or used here. But I didn't even upload this one on Instagram because I was so disappointed, because I also liked how I did the grass with the paints, and then the bottom is just awful. But the gesso was quite a nice experience, because this paper is like in the Jade Summer books, and I could paint on my leaves. Yeah, really lovely. I really had some watercolor effects, which I love. But no, the bottom part, oof. So that was a bit of a failure. Then I've worked in the Grand Classique Art Deco. And I've done Merlin. He's also not uploaded on Instagram yet. So you get to see some non-published pictures. I really love my little... Oh, sorry, I've bumped the camera. I really love my little owl man. And I like Merlin also. He has a glittery glasses on and some glittery effects on his clothing. And of course, a golden stick. And on the page here, I don't know what I've used there. I know on top there's pearlescent paint, but I think I may have used Albrecht Dürer watercolors. I'm not sure. And for the background also, the green. And the pencils that I've used is partly, or is it the whole lot? For his skin tone, I think I've used Prismacolors, and for his clothing, I think the Eurogiten pencils. Yeah. So that was Merlin. And then we have Imaginary Friends by Karolina Kubikowska, and I'm only going to show the first page that I did because I haven't finished uploading my coloring for the second page in this book, but you will see the result when the video series is done. And the first page, I just got my gesso powders in, and so I really had to try them, and I thought this book was perfect. I'm going to show the back. So I have bleed through, but I knew that was to expect, and I didn't use gesso because I wanted to test how the paper reacted to watercolor, and I'm very happy with the outcome. It has warm autumn colors, and I have only used Prismacolors for her face, Polychromos for her hair, and all the rest are watercolors. And some pearlescent ones, gold ones. And I really like how these flowers, all these watercolor stains, I really like that effect. So, and the second picture is also finished, but that will be visible when the video series of Watch Me Color is finished. Then I had to use my Brush powders again, of course. I've used them quite a lot. I'm a bit addicted, I'm sorry. Also a new book that I had that wasn't colored in yet, and now I have. And I've worked a bit differently, so you can see the bleed through of the brushes already. So I've used them as a border for this page, and you can see that my two friends are quite shimmery and stickily. Going to refocus a bit. And everything here is done with Inktense. And I don't remember. And some white signal for details, but I'm not sure if I did some extra shading with pencils. I don't think so. I think that I've only played around with the Inktenses. And because I had some stains here, I've used some white gesso or acrylic paint, I don't remember, to cover up some yellow stains. It's not super beautiful, but it worked. So if you are looking at it from a distance, then it's hardly visible. So I'm really happy that the Inktense had some lovely effect, and I did the border first, and then I've based my coloring on the colors of the border. So this red is here visible, and the purple in the flowers, and yeah, really happy with this page. Also not uploaded yet, so. Then another brush page, a test on thin paper without gesso, and that's how this one ended up. So quite busy. I've colored her in with markers and went on top with pencils. I had quite a lot of splattering on some objects on her head and here and everywhere, here on the bottom of the cup also. But I've managed to make it quite okay, I think. So I quite like the outcome. I have some stains here too. But some glitter and some shimmery stuff always helps. So I quite like how this turned out. And I think I've used Prismacolor pencils as a top, for extra detail. And then we have one page in Vivi, and I'm just going to stop this video and record a small bit after this one so that I can edit it without losing some of my words. So I will be back in just 1 second. Okay, sorry for the interruption, but my camera was almost at 20 minutes of recording, and then I know that it won't take long before it shuts down, so I only have 3 more pictures to show, so I can do that in another extra small video. Vivi, also a nice book by Maria Trolle. Also one that makes me nervous a bit, but I finally did the page that I was eyeing for the longest time, and that was this one. It's also a background with brush hole powders, but I've played around with my brush to make it, yeah, it's almost like neocolors now. It's a mix of different shades, and I quite like how it turned out. And then you have my shimmery butterflies. I did use some Paul Rubens watercolors, I think, on top. And of course a lot of stickles here and there. And this one was also full of the liquid watercolor. It was a bleed through of liquid watercolor, so I had to make them quite dark. But I think it's a nice effect. And I've used, what did I use? I'm going to take a peek. Oh, I did use some markers. Liquid watercolors, Albrecht Dürer, and all the rest is shaded with, I'm not sure anymore. Yeah, that's a problem with when you don't write anything down anymore, so yeah. But I really like the color combo. I love how these two look, and then that mauve here and here. Yeah, it's I like how it all matches together. So that was this one. Then again, brush hole powders. Also a book that I didn't color in before, and now I did, but the brush hole powders are disappeared because I made a mess. Really, it was oof. So I did my old time trick, and I've painted the background in black acrylic paint, did some glittery acrylic paint on top and some splattering. So now she's floating in space with her 2 owl friends. And for the details in her hair, I've used Kuretake gem colors in gold. And this is just some cheap pearlescent watercolor on top of marker base. Her hair is marker based, her face, her clothing. The owls also, I don't like how this owl turned out, but yeah. He's a cutie. So yeah, it was fun to use the gem colors to make some details on the plants surrounding her. So that was this one. And the last one is also one with brushes, and I really have to stop using them because it is becoming annoying, I think. I have some bleed through on this page, but I couldn't be bothered because I don't like this page very much, so I don't think I will ever color this one. So that's, for me, it's not a problem. If I didn't want it, I could have gessoed my page, but I thought, well, if I lose this one, no problem at all. And I've done this. The border is done with, the border of this wreath is done with Albrecht Dürer. And then I went around with brush hole powders. And I like the outcome, but I don't like the colors of this wreath. Not at all. Oof. and because I was so annoyed I couldn't be bothered, and I've splattered around with iridescent medium, and my butterfly is iridescent medium. I didn't want to color him in anymore, so everything is super shimmery and shiny. So it will have to do like it is now. No, the color combos, no, I had something else in mind, unfortunately. So, but it's quite okay, and it's finished. So yeah, I'm going to leave it like it is now. Then after this page, I wanted to do in the jewelry box of Hannah Carlson, the page with a mouse standing beside a perfume bottle, and I wanted to use the brush powders on top of the smoke that was escaping the perfume bottle. I've gessoed that page, but it was a disaster. It was ugly. I've used too much powder. No, I wasn't doing it like it should have been done, and then I decided to paint the whole page with the brush powders, because you can do that. They dissolve in water, so you can use them as a paint. But then I saw some splattering on the face of the woman of the page on the left side, and I thought, oh no, and then I tried to do some extra brush on that page, and it was even more of a disaster, and I got so mad at myself, and my paper was so soaking wet that I had to tear out 4 of my coloring book pages. And so yeah, now that I have lost some cute bug drawings, and I've recovered one of a reindeer, but it has because I did throw it in a paper bin. It has some marks where I folded it, but I'm going to try and save that one at least. The others aren't to be saved anymore. So yeah, that's something that I will have to live with, I'm afraid. So yeah, that was my story. My coloring month didn't end that well, but yeah, I will see how March will go. I'm working on a new page in a Carlson book, but it's in another, I think it's in Seasons that I'm working right now. I don't know. But until now, I'm not quite sure if the page will end up like I had it in mind. So yeah, this something I will have to see when it's completely finished. So I'm going to finish this video now. All of my pictures have been shown, except for the one in Carolina's book. But that will soon be uploaded when the Watch Me Color series is done. So I'm going to put my books in there on their shelves again. I'm going to say goodbye, and we'll talk soon in another video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you also had a nice coloring month without too many failures, and I hope you will do some nice work in March. I hope I will do too, and talk to you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.